Faith Matters. An interactive program brought to you by MTA International.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another edition of Faith Matters, where you, our viewers on MTA, set the agenda by the questions you send in via email or indeed fax. And once again, a very heartfelt Jazakumullah and thank you to you for your questions. We've been inundated here at the MTA studios with the questions we've had on a variety of issues, be they of faith, and this is after all Faith Matters, or indeed of more contemporary content. We welcome all questions, and a reminder right from the outset to all of you of our email address. Some of you may have it written down, some of you may put it to your own memory, but here it is once again, faithmatters@mta.tv. That's faithmatters, one word, at mta.tv. And for those of you wishing to use the fax number, as a reminder, is 44 for the UK, 208 687 8037. The other issue which has been rising, that over the course of the last few months we have seen a lot of questions being asked and a lot of questions being answered, and as part of the response to some of the questions that we're getting in, some are indeed repeated on some of the questions which have been raised before. Therefore, part of what the team's done here is put the answers on YouTube, and you can find us on youtube.com/MTA online #1. That's one word. So it's youtube.com/MTA online numeric 1. And there you can find the responses under the subject matter and the program name on the questions which have already been answered. But we've got questions here today, and we'll speed on along and answer those questions that we have in front of us. And for that, I'm delighted to welcome a very distinguished panel. And first of all, I'd like to extend on behalf of Faith Matters a very warm Assalamu alaikum to you all, gentlemen. To my immediate right is Maulana Tahir Selbi Sahib. He is the missionary in charge in the northeast of England, which covers many of our Yorkshire regions and many of our big cities of the north. Welcome, Tahir Sahib. Next to him, to his right, Assalamu alaikum, is Maulana Azhar Hanif Sahib. He's Naib Amir of the United States of America and also one of the missionaries in Midwest USA. Welcome, Azhar Sahib, to Faith Matters. And to his right, another familiar face on Faith Matters is Maulana Abdul Ghani Jahangir Sahib, who is head of our French desk. Assalamu alaikum, Jahangir Sahib. Gentlemen, as I said in my introduction, we've got a variety of questions of faith and contemporary matters to cover off. And let's kick straight off with the first question we've received from Tiffany Hafiz from Virginia in the United States. Thank you, Tiffany Saiba, for your question. She provides a brief introduction to how she became a Muslim, an Ahmadi. Indeed, she was born to American parents herself. And she also talks about the fact that after being baptized as a Protestant, she wasn't in one of those naturally religious families, but nevertheless, over time, she found Islam and got associated with the community. But her question is one relating to once someone who's converted to Islam, perhaps, and their family hasn't in totality converted to Islam, is involved and does then get married. And she asks quite a pertinent question, which impacts many of our converts, is this, that when it comes to the performance of a Nikkah ceremony, when it comes to the representation for the wife's side, there is a guardian, a Wali, to use the term, which is appointed, who gives the affirmation for the Nikkah pronouncement on behalf of the bride. And in this particular case, she asked the question, is that the person who is giving that affirmation of consent, does it have to be someone from within the community? Does it have to be someone who's Muslim? Or can it be anyone, as long as that person is associated with her? It's a trusted individual, and indeed someone who is recognizing what the response to that question would be on behalf of the bride. Tahir Sahib, if I could perhaps come to you on this particular question.
Yes, of course. I mean, first of all, let me just answer that bit, that naturally the wakil usually is the parents of the girl. If the parents can't come, then they will, sorry, the wali is the parents of the girl. If the parents can't come, then they will make a wakil. Now, actually, my own wedding, the same thing happened there. My wife is a convert as well. And when I was in Pakistan, we arranged a marriage through the post and things like this. And my wife was very close to the then fourth Khalifa, rahimahullah. And obviously when I proposed, she went to Hazur first of all and got Hazur's blessings before she would accept.
Of course.
And there was a very close relationship, alhamdulillah, with my wife and the fourth Khalifa. So much so that her parents was against, her father was against Islam.
Okay, so her parents weren't obviously Ahmadi.
No, there wasn't Ahmadi, and like I said, her father especially was very much against Islam. So she asked the fourth Khalifa rahimahullah about this, and he said that he would be the guardian for her. So at that time, the late Saki Saab was acting on my behalf because obviously I was in Pakistan.
Of course.
So he was arranging the marriage, and when I came back, then very shortly afterwards we had the marriage. And at the Nikkah, it was performed by the fourth Khalifa, rahimahullah. And unfortunately, I don't know, maybe the rush or whatever it was, but Saki Saab didn't get the guardianship filled out.
On the actual form.
On the actual Nikkah form. So when Hazur was doing the marriage, he noticed this, and so he turned to me and said, that who is the guardian? He unfortunately had forgotten. So I pointed subtly to him.
As discreet as you could be.
Yeah,
that time,
it's
yes,
you. Unfortunately, between me and Hazur was my wife's uncle. And so Hazur thought that I was referring to the uncle. So he straight away gave the Nikkah form to the uncle, said, can you sign this? And of course, he was present at the wedding. So he had no objections against the marriage, but he didn't know what he was signing. He was a bit concerned about that, and I had to keep reassuring. In fact, it happened for a long time afterwards, keep reassuring that don't worry about it. But he signed the form,
right.
And then once the form was signed, so Hazur did perform the Nikkah.
And for clarification, the uncle, your wife's uncle, he wasn't...
no, he's English, of course, and he's not Muslim.
Okay.
Pray for him, of course. So from this example, we see that the fourth Khalifa rahimahullah was quite happy to perform the marriage, even though the wakil, or in this case wakil, but Wali or wakil, would be a non-Muslim. So there's no harm who it is. The main thing is not this. The main thing is that the person should get agreement from the woman. And of course, the parents are the best person for this. It should be someone who's familiar with the family. So if there is no objection from the parents, or in this case, and maybe if it's not the parents, then the parents' brother, the uncle, or something like this, then there's no harm. As long as they've got the permission from the girl, that's the most important thing. So whoever is, if that person's willing to come to the wedding, then there's no harm in that. So that's generally what I can say is from my own experience.
Indeed, and I think, Tiffany Saib, I think we need to go no further. I think that very personal yet practical example demonstrates the what can happen in this particular occasion, and I think that does substantially and in substance answer your question that you raised. However, if you do have any subsequent comments to that, please do write in, and you know the email address already.